you want to put limits around your ambition in the form of healthy goals. So for example, if I say, oh, I just want an endless amount of money, that's my ambition, then guess what? You're going to have an endless amount of work. Hello, beloved. My name is Christina Patterson, and I am passionate about helping Christian creatives and entrepreneurs create an influence that makes an impact. If you are ready to master, market, and monetize your message, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Beloved Studio Podcast. Hello, beloved, and welcome back to the Beloved Studio Podcast. I'm Christina Patterson. Today, we're going to be talking about boundaries in business, right? So boundaries is kind of like a hot topic. People are like talking about it in other spaces. I haven't seen anybody talk about it in business. And I was thinking about this the other day because I needed to put some boundaries up. And I was like, oh, this needs to be a podcast. Was it earlier this year? I'm pretty sure it was earlier this year. Lisa TerKeurst published her book called Good Boundaries and Goodbyes. It's an excellent book. She actually sent me a copy because her publisher sent me a copy because I'm a writer for Proverbs 31 Ministries. But I read the book and it was a really good book. I had already been familiar with boundaries because I read the book Boundaries in Marriage around the time that I got married and while I was in seminary. So I was familiar with boundaries. Her take on it was excellent. She gave really good practical ways to implement boundaries in your relationships and also gave a really good understanding about what boundaries are. I highly suggest Lisa's book if you feel like that's something that you need to learn more about and grow in. And so, like I said, mostly boundaries are talked about in relationship with other people, but not about the relationship that you have with your work or your business or your creativity. And so I think that it's important to have just as many healthy boundaries over those areas as well. So boundaries are essentially limits that you put up to protect the health of a relationship. And so I've learned as an entrepreneur that we also need boundaries in our business as well to protect the health of our business and ourselves as an entrepreneur. And so today I want to talk to you about setting healthy boundaries in business and around your work. So before we get into it, I want to share some signs that you don't have healthy boundaries in your business. Number one, you always feel like you have to be working. It doesn't matter. 5 o'clock, you log out your laptop, but you get right back on your phone and you are emailing and taking texts and calls and all the things. You were just always on. And the fact that we have the internet and social media and all the things makes it particularly challenging because we can literally always be working. There's so much work that we can do, that we have access to do. And so when we actually do that and take advantage of that, we feel like, well, because I can be working, I should be working. And then we always feel like we have to be working. And it's just this crazy cycle that is a sign that you don't have good boundaries in your business and your work. But also another sign is that you've never said no to a client or customer or prospect. And so what that would look like is your clients ask you for things that aren't even like in alignment with your services and you're like, yes, or they're texting you on the weekend and you're trying to rest on the weekend and you respond anyways. So you're in a position where you always feel like I have to say yes to every request that my customer has, even if it isn't in alignment with my business or my schedule or my life, I have to always be saying yes. And so that's a sign that you probably don't have good boundaries in your business, but also you have a lot of anxiety around your work and your business in a way that it's taking the joy out of what you do. So you originally started working and doing your business and things in your business and you loved it. You woke up in the morning just excited to jump out of bed and get to work, but now you dread it. Because you have anxiety, because there's no end to it. You always have to be working. You always have to say yes to every request. You always have to be doing all the things that you don't really want to do. And you haven't set up healthy limits to make sure that you're doing the things that you enjoy doing and you're limiting things that don't align with your life and the results that you desire. So today I want to talk about 3 ways that you can set boundaries in your business so that you can have a healthy business and a healthy self that runs that business. First, you want to set healthy limits around your time. And so this means with how you actually work. So work is good. I'm not here to say don't work at all, like work is bad. No, work is good. God made work, but he also made rest. And so we have these 2, work and rest, that operate together. And when in harmony, it's a beautiful thing. But that means there needs to be a line between when is work and when is rest. And what does that actually look like? And so that might look like, okay, I don't work on nights and weekends. I'm not answering calls during that time. Or I take Mondays off. I'm not working on Mondays. Or I don't respond to emails on Sundays because I'm at church in the morning. Whatever that is for you, I can't answer that for you, but I can tell you that there needs to be some sort of limit. And I do understand that there are certain jobs where you literally are on all the time because of the nature of the job. You're on call. Hopefully you're not always working 7 days a week, because that is a fast track to deteriorate your actual physical health. And in that situation, I would say it might be time to look for another job, because there are certain things that are more important than the actual money that you're making from a job. And I think that's where we get caught up in having unhealthy boundaries and feeling like we always have to say yes is because of the money. But what about your health? What about your relationships? What about your soul? There are things that are more important than making money. Don't let money be an excuse to have unhealthy boundaries that causes you to sacrifice your family, your physical health, or your soul. It's just not worth it. And so that means when it comes to work and business, you want to have hard stops. Like, and this is hard for me because I'm like, if I'm in the zone, I'm like, I just want to keep working until it gets finished. In reality, it's probably going to take me a week to finish it anyways. And I lie to myself and be like, but if I just had 2 more hours, no, girl, go ahead and stop and come back tomorrow. That's what I have to tell myself. I honestly have to put hard stops in just because I got to go pick my kids up and different things pop up. But if you don't have just natural rhythms in your life to put boundaries around your time of work, you need to set them up yourself, and just for your health and for your sanity, and actually for the benefit of your business. Sometimes we talked about this last episode, we think more is better. So we feel like if I just put more time in and work more, it's going to be better. But that's not actually true. Putting boundaries around your time of work will actually work to your advantage. So if I say, I'm just going to write all day today, right? This is what's going to happen. I'm going to write for 1 hour, and then I'm going to get intimidated because I'm going to start getting tired, and I'm going to think, oh my goodness, I have a whole 12 hours left to write. How am I going to do it? Then I'm going to get discouraged. Then I'm probably going to be like, I'm hungry. Let me go eat and take a nap and not get anything else done. But also it's going to affect the quality of my work because I'm anxious as I'm writing and I'm not thinking as clearly. As opposed to if I set up a time limit and I say, I'm only going to write for 2 hours, what's going to happen is I'm going to start writing, right? I'm in the zone writing. And then after hour 1, I might start getting a little bit tired. I might start getting a little mental fatigue, but you know what I'm going to tell myself? I only got 1 hour left. I can do this. I'm going to encourage myself. I'm going to pep talk, and I'm going to keep writing for the next hour. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop and I'm going to reward myself by giving myself a pat on the back and say, good job. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to come back and do it again tomorrow because I enjoyed the reward of actually having a time where I finished something. I finished the 2 hours of writing. And so that's the benefit of having time limits around your work. And it creates for better quality work. It gives you more energy for the next time that you're going to work. It gives you a short reward of actually finishing the time and not saying, well, I have to finish the whole project right now today. No, I'm going to do 2 hours. I did 2 hours. I feel good about that. Let's go on with my day. So this is the benefit of actually having healthy boundaries. It is for your benefit, not to limit you or to try to stop you. It's actually to help you do more. Next, you want to put limits around your finances. So obviously we know we don't want to just be spending all kind of things and spending all kind of money, but we know that that's not wise. And so we need to put limits in the form of a budget. How much percent do I want to put here? How much percent do I want to put there of revenue? And have limits on how much you'll spend in certain areas for your business. Because if you don't have those limits, what you'll do is you'll just be spending thoughtlessly, and you won't get to where you're really trying to go, which is to make a profit. I highly suggest reading Profit First by Mike Michalowicz because it explains for business owners how to set up those limits in your finances as an entrepreneur. And he calls them buckets of money. They could be boundaries, limits, whatever. So you know then, okay, when revenue comes in, I'm going to put this percent in profit. This percent goes goes towards operations. This percent goes towards tax savings, right? And obviously by the name of the book, you set aside your profit first and then you operate on everything else after that. But it's a good way to set healthy boundaries around your finances so you actually get the results from the money that you're making that you desire. Or else you're just going to be spending, not thinking, and you're going to end up somewhere that you don't want to be. Finally, and I have to be careful about how I say this one, you want to put limits around your ambition. Right? Hear me out before I say this, because I don't want you to think that I'm saying, oh, make yourself small, don't think big, all those things. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is you want to put limits around your ambition in the form of healthy goals. So for example, if I say, oh, I just want an endless amount of money, that's my ambition, then guess what? You're going to have an endless amount of work, as opposed to if I say, you know what, our financial goal for this year is to make $100,000. So you know that when we reach that, okay, we have a set place that we can stop. We don't have to move forward if we don't want to. Now, once you reach a goal, I highly suggest make another goal to reach, but have those milestones so that you know that you're heading in the right direction and you're actually doing the work that you desire, that's getting the results that you actually want. Because if not, you're just going to keep working and working and working. You're going to be wondering, does this matter? Am I making a difference? You know, and it's going to get in your head. You're going to get discouraged. So again, set even boundaries about that, the ambition and desire that you have in the form of healthy goals so you can know that you're heading in that direction and you don't feel like you have to always be on. So anyways, I hope that today's episode helps you to put in place some really good boundaries in your business and around your work so that you can actually do more, not less, and create an even greater impact. Thank you so much for listening today. And to connect with me even more, visit ChristinaPatterson.com and join my email list. And until next time, be beautiful, be blessed, and be loved.